Hi, church family. Jonathan here, and just wanted to welcome you to this week's Before the Lesson. We're going to begin with the curriculum Explore the Bible, and we want to look at this week the Passover, Exodus chapter 12, verses 21 through 32. A note about context: the natural in the Egyptian mythology, the natural and the supernatural are tied together. So, in the raw creation myth, land is Geb, the god, and the sky is the god Nut. And so Egyptians don't really worship idols or believe that the gods were in things. Instead, they thought they represented the natural world. I think the adult commentary is really excellent this week, actually. So the author did a really good job. Make sure to read it. A slight correction may be where the author writes believers will be blessed when they follow God's instruction. And I just want to remind you that blessing is not the reception of stuff, even gracious stuff, but receiving God's approval. Another way of saying this is that if you know God, then you are blessed. The Gospel Project is going to be in Exodus chapter 15, and we're going to go over the Song of Miriam. It's called different things. But in context, it's the nations will fear God. Kings as far back as the first city of Urdu saw themselves as gods and building a kingdom of God. But here God is building his own kingdom and destroys another kingdom. In Exodus verse 5, it talks about that God has exalted himself, but in Hebrew it's ga'ah, ga'ah, or he has lifted himself by lifting himself up. And that's another way of saying that God is vindicating himself through victory. And this is a contrast with verse 7 when he throws down his adversaries. A slight correction, maybe when the author writes the Israelites beheld God's glory in their deliverance from Egypt, so they sang. We also see God's glory in our lives, especially in our salvation, so we should sing. And I would just like to point out that the verse really doesn't mention God's glory. I understand how you could get there, but I would rather focus on the other specific attributes that the text does list. We always want to be driven by the text. So that's this week's Before the Lesson, and I pray that you have a good life group time, and God bless.